In the last video, I was talking about the importance of, taking the time for self-care, to be or find that level of comfort in ourselves in order that our place in the world is not dependent on external factors. Now, it is true that we as humans are incredibly social animals. We need connection. And people my age and older, and our parents are getting older. We're taking care of them. They're getting older. They're getting sick. They might be, I hope they haven't passed away, but that is, a fact of life. And there's something really interesting in that when women lose, whether it's a spouse, a parent, or whatever, they have this network of friends that they turn to. And while their husband or partner might be they're only one of many, women tend to have larger and more diverse social networks and networks of friends, or at least, not just acquaintances, but beyond acquaintances. And that's great. Men don't, by and large. Back in the 80s, we would go out, we would get into trouble. If something went wrong, we'd call on our friends. But as time goes on, and as this newer generation comes out, they are sooner to turn to their parents. Or studies show the younger generation will turn to their parents before they turn to their friends, because their friends are not people they trust intimately. They're not the social networks like they were, like when we were. And my personal hypothesis is that, and this is verifiable, that since around 1990, the age at which kids go out and start exploring the world unchaperoned, without an adult present, has risen. When we were kids, it was like between 5 and 8, right? We would go out into the neighborhood and we didn't have an adult kind of watching over us. And we would go and we would hang out with our friends, and we would get into trouble and explore the world and get curious and do stuff. This current generation is between like 12 and 16, that they don't get out without adult supervision. So they don't have those tight network of friends where they go out and get in trouble and have that kind of shared bond. Now, that shared bond thing is my estimate, is my educated guess as to what's going on. But the fact is that no matter what age, men tend to have less of a network of friends. We tend to have fewer friends. We get together with them less. And it's not for any fault beyond the fact that we prioritize, I've got to work. I've got to make money. Again, this notion of objective versus experiential, right? I've got to go out. I've got to make money. I've got family obligations. I've got to take care of the kids. I've got to take care of, I've got to do. And that, again, there's nothing wrong with doing, provided that you know why you're doing and that you're taking care of yourself, and that's not providing the sole basis for your identity. So, Richard Reeves, who wrote the book of Boys and Men, talks about, and he's not the only one, but talks about this friendship deficit that men have, that we don't have those social networks and we don't rely on those social networks. And when we lose our partner and we have to rebuild our life, rebuild our identity, rebuild our life, figure everything out again, we're building a foundation on which to build this next part of our life. And if we don't have a good social structure, we don't have a good support network, we could build, you know, it's like building a house on loose sand. It's not very strong. Now, for those of you who haven't lost, if you're not a widower, for God's sakes, I'm sure you know one. Almost everybody knows a widower, and you probably just can't name them off the top of your head. And if you can, then invite them out. We need friends. We need to connect more. We need to get out. We need to find new patterns, new ways of being, new adventures. We need a combination. We all, as humans, need a combination of stability and novelty. We need enough stability that we have our footing, and enough novelty to keep life interesting. So whichever as a friend you provide, that's great. Provide it. For those of us who have lost, and you know, we can provide for others too, in terms of that level of stability or that level of novelty, once we've kind of gotten our footing again. Now, if you want to talk more about this, if you want to kind of, you know, discuss, or if this resonates with you and you're like, hey, how do I fix this? Or, you know, I could use somebody to talk to. Or hi, my name is Richard Struther. I am the Widower's Wingman, and you can find me at thewidowerswingman.com. And there you can book a 45-minute call. It says 45 minutes. You know what? I don't care about the time. We're going to take the time it takes to do it right. It is most important that you know that it's there and available to you. I want to thank you for watching. Share and, you know, like and subscribe if you want, but sharing's the key thing. If this resonates with you, if you're seeing this and you know somebody else has kind of mentioned this before, or it explains kind of your position, or you know, there's a nugget in there that you'd like to share, please do share. It only helps if it gets into the hands of the people who need to see it. Beyond that, I will see you guys in the next video if I don't get the privilege of meeting you on one of those calls first.